Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome to Divine Empowerment. My name is on timing, right? And I do appreciate your understanding with taking. But with all the recent energies, we just had, which is Halloween, but we also had a full moon that was quite pivotal come in on that particular night. Um, Hallows Eve, Halloween is a very transformational energy anyways. However, when you add the full moon to it, it's the first one that we've experienced since 1944. And there was a huge merge. And then, of course, the lunar cycles, it's like they're completely polarized, so to speak. And, normally I experience a lot of dissonance in my life because I'm constantly manifesting. And normally I would just push through the dissonance. If a problem comes up, just keep going. Because that's a clear sign that your manifestation is almost here. However, this particular time, it wasn't dissonance. It was actually my system completely rebooting. And the harder I tried to push, the more the die from food poisoning. Quite literally die. Which fortunately, gratefully, blessed, feel very blessed right now. So then I just had to be still and allow the integration process to complete. Because I do, it completely shut down my entire, I'm going to be going over a lot of information. So don't worry, you can rewatch this video as many times as you desire. In fact, I strongly encourage you to watch it at least once a week for the next 3 weeks. I will be sending you some homework in an email. Just follow the instructions, okay, in days. Okay, now we're going to go over your soul profile first. Now, I will be reading a lot of this information because I do write everything out. So bear with me. Now, the first thing that we're going to discuss is your energy, your soul energy, okay? Now, what I mean by that is you are divine masculine. I am also divine masculine, so it has nothing to do with sex. Now, divine masculines resonate more from the heart chakra up to the divine, whereas divine feminines resonate from the chakra down to planet Earth, Mother Gaia. Now, if you're on a twin flame journey, coming from. All right, the next thing we're going to go over, it may take a little bit longer than usual, so it might be 1 to 2 weeks. I'll just have to check on it daily for you. Now, so back to your primary gift. Now, we all have all the gifts, okay? They make up what's called our divine soul blueprint. Now, we generally primary in one. It makes up the largest portion of our divine soul blueprint. Now, always, I don't think I've ever had a client that was completely in alignment with their divine soul blueprint, including myself. So it is phenomenal work. And for myself personally, I found that I became equally powerful in all the gifts, especially the ones that I'd struggled with previously, like divine communication. Okay, now you're in your divine soul blueprint, you'll get the position of all the gifts, as well as how in alignment or out of alignment you are, and then it will bring you back into alignment. Okay, now your primary gift is the fourth energy center, the heart chakra. It's called divine love. This is the energy center of divine love and healing. Clients with this energy as primary are innate experts at being in relationship. They are also natural healers. It's not something that they do, it's just who they are. Their healing gift is loving acceptance and non-judgment. They hold a sacred space for others in which they can reclaim the pieces of themselves that they have made wrong, that they have disowned. The greatest value they offer is simply their presence. Generally, we want to spend time with them without knowing why. They love being with people, and we innately trust them and are willing to share just about anything with them because of their because they are so non-judgmental. They are frequently excellent listeners because they create such a natural, sacred space of non-judgment. They are incredibly giving people who can easily turn into doormats, and they can become depleted because of this trait. People may take advantage of their generous and giving nature. They are natural healers, whether they do this formally or informally. They bring us back into wholeness through loving self-acceptance and non-judgment. They tend to need close relationships and love nurturing and being nurtured. It's all about interdependency and relationship for them. They need people to relate to and be in relationship with. They find their greatest success when they are both supporting others and being supported, and when they uphold healthy boundaries in their relationships. They make excellent managers in the business world because they truly make their teams feel cared for. They evoke incredible loyalty in the people that work for them. They excel in any environment where people must feel nurtured, from hospitality to healthcare, and are gifted at creating great customer service experiences. The negative polarity of this energy center is lack of support. They must address or eliminate situations in which they feel they are going it alone, with nobody to help, nurture, or support them. Because these people are so relationship eccentric, they must at times learn to be more conditional with the people around them. They have to be discerning as to how much they give without receiving in return. They also frequently have to learn how to say no. It is appropriate to receive as much as we give in relationships. However, when they feel unsupported, fourth energy center people will tend to model by giving what they want to receive, which can backfire. They give and expect others to give in return, which often never happens. Instead of renegotiating or eliminating the relationship, fourth energy center people then tend to double down on modeling what they wish to receive, giving even more. In this way, they may end up resentful and depleted, and end up in the dysfunctional aspect of this energy center. The martyr, who gives without ever receiving anything back. When they are in depletion from lack of support, they have a tendency to go into helplessness. Instead of seeking to be truly supported and nurtured, they want someone to just handle aspects of life for them. They will advocate responsibility for their finances, aspects of their business, etc., all in the name of being supported, but actually end up disempowered and even more helpless in the process. They may simply, they may slip into victimization as well as depletion, feeling that the world is a very unfair place in which they always give but never receive back. Now, also too, with the Divine Soul Blueprint, I do find that It helps, or it prevents you from engaging in the negative polarity as well as the dysfunctional aspect of the energy centers. Now, these are activations, but they do last a long time. Like I would say, generally 2 to 5 years, depending on the person. Okay, now the next thing we're going to go over is your soul group. Now, you are a star seed, which is awesome. So let me find it. Oops, wrong one. And the name of the planet that you're, now this is where your soul originated from. So this is where you originally incarnated. Spica is the name of it. Spicans are a fairly rare soul group. Their home planet itself did not have many souls on it. Spicans love lots of space. To them, Earth is a very crowded place. They like to spend time alone and in nature where they have comparative energetic peace and quiet. Spicans may struggle with the practicalities of our planet. For this reason, they may seem spacey and ungrounded at times. Now, also being divine masculine can also emphasize that as well. Spicans are very expansive, non-judgmental people that take a stance of neutrality towards the choices of others. They are often dreamers and visionaries and have a live and let live outlook on life. They are loving and warm-hearted, but because of their neutrality, may come across as detached, dispassionate, aloof, and uncaring. They hold a very energetic, clear space for others. They are energetically very quiet and neutral, which means we see ourselves very clearly in their vibrational space. This can be disconcerting if we do not want to see ourselves very clearly. Spicans can find their own emotional body quite overwhelming. They can get stuck in their own feelings, trying to endlessly process emotion rather than releasing them through productive action. Because the emotional and physical aspects of life seem so dense to them, it may feel to them like it takes a lot of effort to get anything done. The dysfunctional aspect of this soul group is escapism. Spicans often feel like the practical and can come to resent being because they wish to escape physical life. They may buy into some of the more magical and unrealistic aspects of the New Age world, getting even more resentful when they find that making a vision board and meditating does not actually lead to effortless manifestation for the mundane practicalities of life and embracing a very austere lifestyle. Now, every time you receive soul realignment, reading and clearing work, you're going to shift vibrationally at the level. So it's right on the edge of the fourth dimension, fifth dimension. So it's going to be extremely exciting. Now, every time your higher self crosses into a new dimension, you gain new levels of awareness, new levels of consciousness, and also new aspects of yourself to have the physical experience with. Now, the next thing that we're going to go over, there is a physical history that would benefit your soul growth at this time. It's the Renaissance, Europe, 14th to 16th century. Now, you can read books about this era. You can watch movies, TV shows, whatever it is, right? And it will feel good at the physical level. Now, there is a mystery school that would also benefit your soul growth at this time, and it's Minoan, Minoan. Now, you can Google Minoan Mystery School. And the main thing that you want to do here is read over the core principles. Take what resonates and toss the rest. Now, you can revisit that 1 week later. Again, read over it, take what resonates, toss the rest, and again the following week for 3 weeks. You will start to see yourself shift as what resonates and what does not. Now, the next thing we're going to discuss is your God spark on the sternum. Now, because we have free will choice, we can make free will choices that negate us away from our divine soul blueprint. This is where we access vital life force energy. And through thousands and thousands and thousands of incarnations, let's just say it causes, our bodies are made to completely maintain themselves, but it requires vital life force energy, which is infinite, right? It comes from the universe, it comes from the divine. Now, through this work, each time you receive this work, it will heal your God spark more and more. So you'll start to feel younger, more vital. Especially if you take medication, you may tend to suddenly stop that medication. Just, it's kind of like for myself personally, especially, I was very, very sick whenever I started this work, and now I am 100% healthy, well, other than the food poisoning incident. But that was something completely different. But I take no medications, and the doctors had told me that I would be on medications for the rest of my life. Now, the next thing we're going to go over is setting intentions, setting goals, praying, meditating. Every time we do these actions, we attract what's called white lights. Think of those like radio station towers. Hello, universe, I want to go to Greece for 3 months. It goes out over the white lights and then into the universe for manifestation, where, maybe we get a good flight deal, or maybe we get some time off from work, or whatever it is, right? Things tend to line up. Now, once you reach 30 white lights, which you haven't quite done yet, you're at 21 white lights. So keep setting goals, keep setting intentions. In fact, on the new moon, you may want to make out a full, what do you want to experience? And, you can dream as big as you want to, right? I find that for myself, I really set my intentions out there, because that gives me momentum to move forward more effortlessly. Now, once you attract 30 white lights, which you're almost there, awesome, you then start attracting what's called blue lights. Think of those like satellites in space. It goes out over the white lights, and then it's amplified through the blue light and amplified again for each additional blue light. Now, the next thing we're going to go over are your spirit guides. Now, these are the spirit guides within your spirit guide inner circle. So these are the guides that are with you 24/7. Now, you currently have 5 spirit guides. However, you do have a negative spirit guide, and it would have been the last spirit guide that, so we're all born with one. And then as we grow and we start to make more choices and consequences, subconsciously we hire additional spirit guides to assist us. Now, the last spirit guide, which you would have hired around the age of 18, there was something happened to you at that time that you didn't want to experience that again, so you hired a negative spirit guide. Now, it no longer serves you, okay? It was running the negative program of anxiety, and it had to do with identity struggles. at your time in your life at that time. Now we're going to go into that a little bit more in the clearing work, which we're about to go over. Now, in soul realignment, it has 3 levels. Now that isn't a 1, 2, 3 and you're done. No. Level 1 are the least dense blocks and generally cover past life situations, so past life regressions. Those are the least dense blocks. Then you have level 2 blocks, which are held in the 4th dimension in the mental body. So those are denser than level 1. And then you have the densest blocks, which are level 3 blocks. Those are held in the 3rd dimension at the physical level. Now, as you move forward, you can email me whenever you're ready to get more soul realignment work. Now, sometimes in follow-up sessions, it could be just level 2. It could be level 2 and 3, or it could be level 1, 2, and 3. Unfortunately, we can't clear everything at once, simply because our bodies do vibrationally shift. And our physical bodies are our densest body, right? At the 3rd dimension, we're solid. If we were to clear everything, the vibrational shift at the physical level would be extremely detrimental to our well-being and can also cause healing crisis. So we can only clear what we can comfortably shift at the physical level. Now we're going to get into the clearing portion. Now, I don't go over all the blocks and restrictions that we clear in this first session, simply because it would take way too long and it's way too boring and it's just not necessary. I will go over some highlighted ones now, or anything that I feel like you need to be made aware of. Now, the whole thing with the identity struggles, it became very clear that you do struggle with your identity. And there's several things that are causing that, okay? And I know you probably think, well, mainly I think you're adopted. Correct. Let me look this up. I'm pretty sure you are adopted, but let me look and see. At least that's what was coming up. You were adopted. And, maybe around the age of 18 or something, you tried to find your birth parents, or you did find your birth parents and they didn't resonate like you were like. And then that just kind of created like the big question for you that you probably find yourself asking is, who am I? Yes, adopted. Okay. Who am I? Who am I? And it has nothing to do with your birth parents or your adopted parents or anything like that. In fact, you were actually a walk-in soul. So your original life plan, you were supposed to be born to another set of parents altogether. Not your birth parents, not your adopted parents. So, and this is very, very common. So I don't want you to go suddenly, left field or right field and trying to figure out what this means. It's perfectly normal. But it has kind of triggered that identity struggle. Who am I? Now you can rewatch this video, right? So we go over the soul profile. That is who you are. And because of this, and it's almost like you feel detached because you struggle with this identity. But of course, we clear all that. We're going to fire the negative spirit guide, and we're going to hire you a positive spirit guide that is for your highest path and purpose. All right. Let's see what else. Okay, that was the main thing. Now, also too, in your homework, you'll see a section about thought forms. Make sure that you read the whole thing all the way through, because that is affecting you at this time. Negative thought forms. Now, the other thing is You currently are doing some negative astral traveling. You may find that you go to the worst case scenario. Like, oh, someone's crossing the street, well, suddenly they're going to get hit by a car, they're going to trip and fall. So it's that kind of negative astral traveling where you're just really going to the worst possible case scenario. So if you catch yourself doing that, make sure that you stop, breathe a moment, right? And know that everything is not always the worst case scenario. You want to make a conscious effort to, if you catch yourself going down that negative astral, stop, take a deep breath, right? And you can even read your homework assignment again in that space. Now we're going to go over the main energies, or the densest energies in level 1. And then we're going to go into the past life regression. Now these are the densest blocks that were cleared, and these are the energies behind it. And we cleared thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands in this session. However, these are the energetic qualities behind the densest ones. Anxiety, blame, rejection, miscommunication, obstruction, self-criticism, anger, failure, denial, victimization, pain, chaos, dishonesty, dependence, despair, judgment, depression, worry, betrayal. And now we're going to get into the past life regression, and this is in this lifetime, in that lifetime, this is where these blocks were created, and this is what's currently affecting you and keeping you from your intentions at this time, where you're wanting your life to move, in what direction. Now this actually occurred 4 lifetimes ago. Now this is lifetimes, not years. In this lifetime, you were born in France to an upper-class family who were quite snobbish and intellectual types who pursued knowledge or felt that it was the most important pursuit. You attended a very heavy academic school, meaning they gave lots of work and it was very stressful. And your parents hired additional tutors on top of that for more work, more academic studies. All you did was study, study, and study some more. By the time you were a teenager, you were stressed out, you had migraines often, you developed facial tics, and developed severe OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. Your father took you to a doctor who mandated that you get more exercise and develop hobbies and interests other than academics. He also medicated you with uppers for the daytime and downers for bedtime. You struggled to find any interest other than academics, but you did take up riding horses daily. You graduated college with honors, and then you were told to get married and have children. Now, at that time period, it was very unusual that a woman was to even go to a college-type school. Now, at this time, you were quite a neurotic mess with severe germophobia and borderline personality disorder from having such an unbalanced, in the academic studies pursuits. You dated several young gentlemen, but none whom you made a good impression with, because you, at this time, had developed several neurotic habits. You started volunteering at a hospital where you met a man with similar attributes as your own. He was a surgeon who did many modern and dangerous procedures for that time period. You soon married and became his full-time surgeon assistant. You knew more about the human body than he did and became invaluable to the success rate of his patients. However, he became jealous of your skills and would blame you for anyone who did not survive. He pushed forward and became reckless in his work, taking more and more unnecessary risk. He would blame you privately and publicly, which was humiliating. At some level, however, you began to believe what he was preaching. You were unable to get pregnant, which only fueled the growing animosity between you. He eventually had you committed to a psychiatric hospital, which caused a great scandal. Not just for him, but for your family, his family, and so on. With no one to blame for his growing failures, eventually he was charged with malpractice or charges of malpractice were eventually brought against him. He was convicted and more scandal followed. 2 years after that, you were lobotomized. I think that's the word. That means that where they drill into your lobe. It's like where you just have a body, but you're no longer conscious. You're not consciously in control of your body. And after that, you lived out your remaining years as a vegetable. Now, these blocks are created through extreme trauma or extreme circumstances, right? And they tend to affect our current lifetime or affect us being able to manifest the life experiences that we want to experience. That sounds right. All right. So make sure you read your homework, follow the instructions, and I'll get back with you on your activations. Blessings into infinity.